Good day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to Financial Juneteenth TV and the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. So let's talk about GameStop. GameStop is really blowing up right now. GameStop stock is last time I checked, it was hovering around 1,000% growth this month. Literally 1,000% growth. That's kind of shocking. Never seen that before. I've never seen that before. So we're going to talk about GameStop. We're going to talk about Elon Musk and the Elon Musk tweet that I believe boosted GameStop. And we're also going to talk about the short squeeze and what's going on Reddit. It looks like Reddit is really a major player in the movement of this stock. And we're going to break all this down right now on the Black Financial Channel. So get comfortable. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. We're going to get started right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are having a good day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com and also the Black Financial Channel and wherever you're watching. Take 1 second, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. So let's break it down. So GameStop, let me ask you, give me a yes or no in terms of whether or not you've been following what's been going on with GameStop stock. The reason I'm talking about GameStop today is because the stock is doing some things I don't think I've seen. I don't recall seeing this really anywhere, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say it hasn't happened before. Crazy things have happened in the stock market, but this is kind of ridiculous to the point where literally I talked about it earlier, and I'm circling back around and talking about it. Because I saw this happen, and the thing about it is that when you understand how the market works, when you understand how stock markets work, every movement like this is an opportunity to make money. And so the obvious is, if you bought GameStop a month ago and you got it for $18 a month ago, you're happy now because your money is 10 times more than what it was at the time. Now, at the close of trading, GameStop was at about 145. Right now, if you check the Robinhood app, they will show you the after hours price of the stock. The after hours price of GameStop right now is $216, $216. Now, if you want to know if I messed around with it, I did toggle with it. I told you guys I'm really into stock options. I like to just sell my options so that because everybody's buying options and they're paying big money for options, why not sell options? I don't want to gamble. I don't gamble with my hard-earned money, but I will sell you an option. If you are willing to overpay, I am happy to sell you options all day long. So I actually sold some call options and literally made it hit the strike price just like that. And I literally made enough money to probably buy my mama a house. But I'm not going to talk about my own investments. I'll just say that your boy is smiling today. But here's the thing. Let's talk about what's going on with GameStop. And by the way, if you want to know more about options, if you don't understand how they work and how to sell them and all that, we actually have a stock options masterclass in the Black Business School. You can go check out the recording. It's really good. Just go to stockoptionsmasterclass.com. That's stockoptionsmasterclass.com. I'll put the link on the screen. So anyway, so basically, GameStop is kind of in the middle of a real interesting, almost emotional civil war. Almost like an emotional civil war where for whatever reason they chose to really dig in the trenches and go after the short sellers on this stock. And I found that to be really interesting because I don't know why they're offended that people want to short sell GameStop as a company, because GameStop's not a great company. GameStop does not make a lot of money. GameStop, if you look it up, that company, I call them the Blockbuster of video gaming, where there ain't no future in the front. Like they used to say in that song back in the day, like there's no future in how they do business, in my view. I told you I have a 17-year-old who plays video games. Never once have we talked about going to GameStop. But again, there's money to be made in this crazy euphoria. And also Elon Musk jumped into the fray. Elon Musk made a tweet earlier in which he basically he literally said nothing. He literally said game stunk. He wrote one word, right? I guess when you're the richest man on earth, you can be cryptic and people think that's really intelligent and cool. So he writes this cryptic word game stunk, which I've never heard the word game stunk before. And basically that got everybody all pumped up and excited. Next thing you know, the stock goes up even further. And there's a billionaire who was one of the original guys at Facebook. I don't have his name in front of me, but he's from India and he's got a lot of money. And he also took advantage of the frenzy. He jumped in and bought a bunch of call options. I think the strike price was 115, and it's flown way past 115. And I'm gonna tell you, people are watching. People are, are jumping in. Yeah, thank you, Chamath, Polly. See, Chamath. That's just Chamath. How about that? I can't say his last name yet. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to be disrespectful. But anyway, so Chamath, who's super rich, went in and bought some and made his money. And here's the thing. I would almost consider this move by GameStop in the stock price skyrocketing. It's like the scariest game of musical chairs that you've ever played in your life. It's almost a little bit like a Ponzi scheme, not quite, but almost like one. It's almost like those blessing looms that you get in your email where they tell you to, excuse me, that if you put in $100, you'll get back $500, and they somehow convince you that if everybody puts in 100, everybody's going to get back $500, even though that's not mathematically possible, right? It's one of those situations where some people are going to walk away happy and some people are going to walk away really sad. And the people that are going to more likely to walk away happy, in my view, are the people who understand of what is going on. I'd like to think I think I'll be okay. I told you I bought the stock so I could sell the options because the options premium were insanely high. And so I sold my call options. I didn't even buy any calls. But I still have that stock, but I bought it at like 113. So maybe it'll drop below 113, maybe not. But that feels pretty safe when the stock is trading right now at 212. 113 looks pretty safe at 212. So I think I might be okay. But the deal of the matter is that this is really fascinating because I'm really curious to know what the regulators are thinking when Elon Musk tweets and then the stock goes even further than what it did before. Remember, Elon Musk has had problems in the past with the SEC for his tweets. He has moved the stock market with his tweets before, and he's kind of doing it again. Now, by the way, give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me okay. Some people said that they can't hear me on Twitter, or is it on Twitter or YouTube? Give me a yes if you can hear me okay. Give me a yes or no if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Give me a yes. Everybody say yes in the chat if you can hear me so I can make sure that I'm coming through okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to read some of this to you. This is from Bloomberg. Bloomberg says they have an article written called Reddit-Fueled Rallies Like GameStop's Defy Easy Crackdown by the SEC. They said that enforcement cases often hinge on knowingly false statements. Traders' opinions about stocks are hard for the agency to police. U.S. regulators are likely to scrutinize the quadrupling of GameStop Corp's, the ticker is GME, if you want to go follow it and pay and watch what's going on. Just proceed with caution. Be very, very careful. Shares over the past 2 weeks, a breathtaking buying spree turbocharged by bullish touts about the video game retailer on Reddit and other online forums. Yet, for the Securities and Exchange Commission, fighting online commentary that hypes stocks is an uphill battle, mainly because it's hard to prove such posts are part of an illicit scheme to manipulate the market. Rather, successful enforcement cases typically hinge on the SEC showing that investors knowingly spread false information to dupe other traders into buying or selling stock. I'm going to ask y'all a question. Do you think that after this happens that they're going to change some of the laws? What do y'all think? Do you think that there's a possibility that there might be some regulation down the line that they might come up with to say that if you got a big Twitter following, you can't go pump up a stock and bully one stock and get that sucker out of whack, like way out of whack from the fundamentals? What do you think? Give me a yes or no. I'm going to vote yes. I'm going to vote yes because I can't imagine them allowing this to happen. And remember, this situation, in my view, again, I come from academia. And when I was getting my PhD in this, so stuff like this did not fit the theoretical models. We just had a term for this. This is called irrational exuberance. This is called, economic insanity. One of my dissertation committee members was a guy named David Hirschleifer. If you could spell his name, feel free to look him up. But David Hirschleifer was an expert in what they call the herding effect. Herding is where everybody does something because everybody's doing it. Well, I'm sure, I don't know where David Hirschleifer is teaching now. I haven't followed his career, but I bet you he's watching this with great curiosity because basically he proved many, many years ago that the obvious, which is that human beings love to follow what other human beings do. Another person in my committee, a man that I love to this day, a Canadian man by the name of Andrew Caroli, who is now, I believe, the chair of the finance department at Cornell University, but I got to double check that. He studied something else called the contagion effect, and how different markets are contagious, like the virus. Like they can financially sneeze on each other, and you can get this contagion thing going. Now, I don't know how well this applies to contagion. It probably doesn't apply to it in the way that he studied it, but it does sort of speak to this basic idea that human beings are human, and that human beings collectively have tremendous amounts of power, and human beings have the ability to persuade other human beings, even if that original human being is wrong, right? Even if the original person is wrong. So whoever runs these forums, whoever the big dogs are in these forums who are making comments when Elon Musk makes a tweet, sometimes the power of that tweet gives them the ability to manifest whatever reality they want to see come into existence. So if you've got a great big following, you then have the ability to print money. You then have the ability to create artificial demand for a stock and move the market in a stock, without any fundamentals to back it. The old heads do not like this. They're mad. They're mad right now. There are people that have probably lost over $1 billion short selling this stock, and I don't care. I don't care if billionaires lose money. Who cares? They're fine. But still, it's going to cause some regulations to pop up, and you're going to see trading change over time. So be very careful. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up, share, and subscribe button. And by the way, in case you didn't know, we actually have financial workbooks for children and flashcards. If you want to teach your kids about investing, I highly recommend it. It's a much easier way to make money than working all day and slaving for a corporation. But it's up to you. If you want your children to go into slavery, that's up to you to decide to do that. I was sent into slavery. I love my parents, but I'm still mad at them for that. But if you want your children to have a different experience, we have some workbooks and flashcards designed by experts from our community that you can feel free to take a look at. There's the URL, financialworkbooks.com. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Especially if you're on Financial Juneteenth TV, subscribe, because we got lots of good content coming. So they also said here in this Bloomberg article that, quote, "It's an enforcement nightmare for the SEC," said James Cox, a professor at Duke University School of Law who focuses on securities regulation. The question is, where does the manipulation start? And when does trading on your own hunches and publicizing your hunches start? Right? So where you're getting into this fuzzy space where, people talking can change prices. It can move markets, and it's not moving the whole market. Here's the thing. The retail investor does not have the power to move the entire market. They don't have enough money. The big fat cat billionaires can, they're like big elephants, and, the retail investors are like mice, right? But if you collect all the mice together, they can be almost as big as one elephant, right? And so basically, if they target their energy, like in this case, they targeted GameStop. They didn't say we're going to move the whole market. They said we're going to move GameStop. So they targeted GameStop and treated it almost like a military operation where they had all these people jumping in, buy, do not surrender, blah, blah, blah. And so now it gets to the point where it's almost like a casino where people are buying the stock. They're like, it's just $200. Who cares? I'm going to waste $200 anyway doing something stupid, so I might as well throw it in the stock market. Maybe I'll make $300, right? Or maybe I'll lose it, whatever, dude, right? And so ultimately, you're seeing this stock really move in ways that are just kind of insane, that make rational investors kind of either stay away or makes them dip in carefully so they can get paid and bounce, right? I can guarantee you that guy, the Indian guy, I can't say his name because I said it wrong earlier. I'm not going to mess it up again. He's going to end up bouncing out before the collapse occurs. I'm going to bounce out before the collapse occurs. But the beauty of it is that when a stock price doubles overnight and triples and quadruples like that, that's your chance to get paid. This is where financial literacy and financial intelligence can really benefit you. When you have the tools at your disposal, it can allow you to go in and make your money and bounce out of there. Okay. So anyway, it's like going to pick up gold in the middle of a forest fire, right? If you know where the gold is located, and you can get in and get out, then you can get paid, right? But if you walk around the forest fire blindly and think you're going to like set up camp in the middle of the forest fire, you're probably going to burn up and die. All right. So anyway, let me keep going. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. It says, as of now, GameStop has been a market success. Its main victims being professional speculators like hedge funds who shorted its stock. but the SEC has been sensitive in the past to the risk of mom and pop investors getting caught up in buying frenzies that end in steep losses should the market turn. So I believe the market's going to turn. I think that maybe something like I don't know when their earnings announcement is. I'd be curious to know when that occurs. Also, or maybe whoever is running the Reddit groups, or whoever the big fish are in those groups, when those big fish start saying, okay, everybody, let's go look at this stock over here. Let's all sell GameStop, guys, and let's go over here. Then that's when you suddenly see the whole souffle collapse. Okay. So basically the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is kind of like the financial police, their job is to watch when these things happen and not let anybody get screwed. And a lot of people are going to get screwed. And when people get screwed, that's when regulators step in and start changing laws. So as of now, let's see here. Getting ahead of that threat poses an early test for Gary Gensler, President Joe Biden's pick to lead the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. The former Commodities Futures Trading Commission chairman is viewed as a tough watchdog. And with everything from SPACs to penny stocks booming, responding to bubbles might be a defining theme of his tenure. Absolutely. SPACs, special purpose acquisition companies, that's another bubble in the market right now. We'll talk about SPACs at a different time. While it began on obscure internet sites, GameStop's story is now known to everyone on Wall Street. The 37-year-old video game retailer, its brick-and-mortar business model, presumed dead amid years of declining profits, has become an obsession of amateur stock jocks in Reddit's Wall Street Bets forum, whose deep value thesis morphed into a craze that is testing the mettle of short sellers. While no regulators weighed in on the chat room campaign, its concerted nature sits uneasily next to a stock where 50% swings are now a daily feature. So their whole theory is that we should identify stocks that have a lot of short selling activity. If we identify stocks like GameStop that have a lot of short sellers, we can do what is called a short squeeze. We can actually push the price up, keep buy, and so that the short sellers who sold the stock, see, short sellers try to sell here and they want to buy low. They expect the price to drop. And they might be right because the fundamentals of the company might actually suck, but it doesn't matter what's true. What matters is what people believe. Just go watch the last election. That'll tell you everything you need to know. It's not about what's true. It's about what people want to be true, right? You live in a country that's filled with propaganda, so you get what I'm saying. So basically, if you're a short seller, what you've done is you've done all the analysis. You sat down with all the reports and you went through the balance sheet and the debt to equity ratio and the price earnings ratio and market cap analysis and present value of future revenues. And you said that, okay, this company is only worth, $12 a share, is now trading at 20. I'm going to sell at 20, and when the world comes to its senses and realizes that the stock is only worth 12, I'm going to make my money because I'm going to buy it low and sell it high. That's the number one rule for anybody that ever wants to be rich. And so what's occurred, though, is that when they go in and they make that position, you've got this army of Redditors. God bless them. I don't hate any of these people. It is what it is. So this army of Redditors have gotten together and said, F y'all. We're going to go and we're going to just keep buying and keep pushing it up because ultimately, fundamentally, again, what's true doesn't matter as much as what people want to be true. So if we decide the stock is going to be valuable, then fine, we're going to price it the same way we price a pair of Gucci jeans. Like, how much are Gucci jeans really worth? I don't know, probably $10 a pair, but how much do they sell for? $700-800, right? Because somebody decided that Gucci jeans are worth $700 a pair. So this stock goes up as they're buying. Well, if you're a short seller, you're starting to get scared. You're like, holy crap, the truth might eventually set me free, but I'm going to go bankrupt before the truth actually has a chance to hit. So they start buying it back, right? So pay attention. What's happened is that the stock has gone up because the original Redditors are buying it, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It becomes almost like what they might call a cascading effect, right? Where the momentum of the upward pressure on the stock is only added to from the short sellers that are now squeezed where they've got to buy to cover their losses. So boom, next thing you know, stock price is out of control. You pour grease on a grease fire, and one thing I can tell you is that if you pour grease on a grease fire, you will get a forest fire. You will start with a tiny fire, then it will become a bonfire, then it will become a forest fire, and then you have all of California is burning. Okay, so that's what it is. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Hello, Mr. Boyce. I have a daughter that's going to the 6th grade. Which books would start her off We'll start her off about investing. Go to financialworkbooks.com. There we have grade bands. So we do have books for sixth graders. So feel free to take a look. We have books and also the flashcards. So both of those, we have the middle school books. So you may want to take a look at the middle school books. And also please hit the thumbs up, share, and subscribe button. And also I'm going to go on Clubhouse and maybe do some private chats about this. So if you want to follow me on the Clubhouse app, feel free to follow me there. I talked about Clubhouse today, actually. Master P does not like Clubhouse because he feels that they make money off our community. I don't disagree with him. I actually support what he's saying, but I do use Clubhouse periodically, so you can feel free to go take a look. All right, so here's what it also says in this Bloomberg article about all this stuff going on with GameStop, and also Elon Musk and his tweet really set things off. Elon Musk should be careful because at some point that's going to be regulated. They're not going to let people, big elephants, just tweet like that and push the stock out of whack. I don't think they're going to let that happen forever. For the SEC, it's not fraud when someone contends that a stock is undervalued, even if such arguments are disseminated to millions through social media. What becomes problematic is if investors post specific claims that aren't opinions, such as asserting that a company is planning to file for bankruptcy. But homing in on such commentary, figuring out who's behind it and what their motives are, can be difficult for government agencies with limited resources like the SEC. Quote, if you can actually catch people knowingly passing on fraudulent information, then that is clearly illegal, said James Angel, a finance professor at Georgetown University. If all they're doing is saying, hey, I think this company is a good buy, there's not a lot anybody can do about that. So what they're saying is that there's not much they can do to stop the fact that social media influencers are influential, right? They're like, maybe they shouldn't be influential. As you know, many social media influencers are complete idiots, but a social media influencer is going to be influential, and there's really nothing you can do about that. And what this might also speak to, though, is that the dynamics of trading have changed. When I wrote my dissertation on the stock market, it wasn't like this. There were a lot of fundamentals that could be held on to. Like, it's almost like if you know that your ex-girlfriend's leaving you for a terrible man, that eventually she's going to find out he's a terrible man, and she's going to come back in your arms, and she's going to realize how great you were for her life. But maybe she never figures that out. Maybe he lies to her for the next 20 years, and the truth never comes out, right? So you might think that people are stupid for buying a certain stock and pushing the value up into insane levels, but maybe the truth will come out. Maybe at some point they'll wake up and say GameStop isn't worth $212; it's only worth $20, and so they all start selling. The price goes down to where it should be. But the question is, when is that going to happen? At what point is the world going to come to its senses? Or maybe the world can just stay crazy. Maybe it's never going to happen, right? So that's what you have to watch out for when you get into touchy areas like short selling. And I agree. I think Jim Cramer mentioned this, and I agree with Jim Cramer. I like him. He's good. And he mentioned that you got to be real careful about trying to put all your short sale activity in one location. Now that you've got mobs of people apparently that chase the short sellers around so they can do short squeezes. Well, if you're a big fish and you're doing billion-dollar transactions, you probably shouldn't do all your short selling in one location, because they're literally like Homeland Security with drones out in the sky looking to bomb the terrorists, right? They're looking to bomb you. And so if you are centralized and all the terrorists are having a meeting, or all the mafia agents, remember that Pablo Escobar movie where all the mafia gangsters, or all the drug dealers and cartels got together for a meeting at one house? They said, okay, they're all going to be at that house. We're going to bomb that house. Well, maybe you need to go a little bit more decentralized. You need to go a little Bitcoin on them, where Bitcoin can't really be bombed, because Bitcoin is decentralized. It's spread out everywhere. So there's no central location to go get Bitcoin. So I think that with short selling, they're probably going to change their strategy and not put so much of their activity in one location to make themselves easy to track. That's my 2 cents. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm seeing. By the way, if you still don't know how to buy stock yet, or if you want to get free information from the Black Business School, you can go to firstshareofstock.com. There's a training on how to get started with investing on Ameritrade. And also, there's a ton of information I send you. You guys know that I've been teaching college students for 30 years. So this is the most fun I've ever had, though. I've never had this much fun in the classroom at Syracuse University, because I love talking to the world. So feel free to go to firstshareofstock.com. I guarantee it will change your life. Doesn't cost you anything. So just take the free stuff, sign up on the list, and just look for my emails. I will email you every day with information that will make you a smarter person. And you can also even text the word BOICE to 31996 to connect us. Do all that. Subscribe, or whatever channel you're on. Make sure you subscribe right now so we'll stay connected. So let me keep going. So in this article, it also says one thing that can't be said of GameStop's chat room boosters is that they've been wrong thus far. While people can agree on whether the stock was ever cheap, the last few days provide strong evidence that GameStop was vulnerable to a short squeeze, with bearish bets totaling more than 100% of its outstanding shares. Another strategy encouraged on Reddit, calling up brokers and insisting that they not lend out shares for shorting, is a standard right of clients. Reddit is also routinely used to drive up penny stocks that, unlike GameStop, have ceased publishing financial results and don't trade on regulated exchanges. In such instances, the SEC often cracks down not by going after those touting the shares, but by suspending trading of the defunct companies or revoking their registrations, which prevents brokers from executing trades. So it's almost like in Reddit, maybe Reddit users should be called the Robin Hood of investing, because it sounds to me like they're actually pursuing a type of economic justice to say, this isn't right. So until you fix this, we're going to exploit this in a mass scale, which, I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, right? So let me keep going. Such market dynamics are an issue that the SEC will have to increasingly deal with because Twitter and online message boards are allowing armchair stock analysts to spread their views like never before. There's no question that such opinions are being devoured in many cases by the army of investors who've taken up day trading during the coronavirus pandemic. So let me just say this. I want to make sure, again, I'm 49. I'm not 29, right? I'm not 19. So I'm Uncle Boyce, right? So if you want to take some advice from Uncle Boyce, I want to tell you something that my father told me when I was 25. My father told me when I was 25 and 20 or 22 or something. He said, be very careful about getting into gambling. He said, because gambling is one of the worst addictions you can have. It's worse than a drug addiction. It's worse than alcohol. That was his opinion, and I do agree. And I've seen a lot of people go down gambling in stock markets, gambling with stock options, gambling with their Robinhood account, things like that. Robinhood provides margin, which allows you to borrow money to pursue your gambling even further. And I just worry about that part. But outside of that, I think stock market investing is a great way to make money. I think it's important to know the difference between a trade and an investment. An investment is not a trade. A trade is not an investment. With this stock, with GameStop, I'm not gonna lie. I made a trade. I said, "Oh, let me just shake the bones right quick and see if Daddy can buy the baby a new pair of shoes." And we did. We got some Gucci shoes for the baby now because we did actually make money. But that required some careful analysis, and it also required letting go of greed. I don't believe in being a greedy trader, because if you get into greed, that's when things collapse. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you follow this, and I encourage you to pay attention because there's a lot to learn here. Like, this is the best place for you to understand investing is by watching the investing world. I think that's a great way for you to become a smarter investor and build wealth for your family. And if you're not participating in any of this, I really feel bad for you, because I want you to kind of be in the mix, at least watch, at least read up on it, because this is where all the money's going in this society. This is where the wealthy people are collecting all their money, and they're doing their biggest collections on the stock market. So just keep that in mind as you move forward. I'm going to keep you guys posted on this GameStop story because I think it's really fascinating. Also, you guys know I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. I think that he's awesome. I mean, you got to love the richest man in the world who wants to go to Mars. I think that's the most awesome way to use your money. Well, one of the most awesome ways. I mean, like maybe feeding poor people or something could be better, right? Make it that the second most awesome thing you could do with your money, because we should be feeding people who are starving around the world. So let me just back up. Like, let's feed everyone, then go to Mars. But anyway, beyond that, I'm out, guys, and hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget that this weekend, Lene Javed is hosting the Women of Wealth Weekend. So if you are a woman, this is a women's only event. They got over 20 Black female experts on all areas of economics and business and everything else, and it's going to be really, really good. So feel free to take a look. It's the weekend of January 30th. You can go to womenofwealthweekend.com. It's right there on the screen. I hope you guys have a great day. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button before you go. I'm out. Take care. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Peace.